Good morning, Wrestling Inc. It is time to get up and get going. Happy Tuesday. I hope you are teed up and ready to be tickled silly today. These tickle fingers up in your face. It's me, your managing editor for Wrestling Inc., Nick Hausman, joined here as I am every Tuesday, a man who knows how to tickle. It is Second City, Chicago's EJ Cameron. EJ.
That's what my bio says everywhere. A man that knows how to tickle. EJ.
That's not a bad line. I mean, if I read that in the playbill at Second City, I'd be like, that's a funny guy. That guy's going to make me laugh here tonight, you know?
I'm going to tickle you with my words.
Yes, yeah, tickle you with your... You tickle me with, like, honestly, anything. Like, we're pretty...
Hey, no.
We're pretty close. So anyway, welcome to the show. We have a lot to get to here today. Man, the comment section already popping. Rocky here. Hey-o. Good to see you, Rocky. Hi, people. We got a lot of talk here. Alonzo Smith here. Good afternoon, Nick and EJ. Manjinder Raj, LOL. How high is this dude? I don't know. It's only 11 o'clock. Not that high. Come on, right?
I was like, wait.
We got a lot to get to here. Like I said, the comment section is popping. Please jump in. We're gonna, like I just did already. I've pulled some of your comments onto the screen. We are gonna be doing that all show long. We're gonna talk the news here in just a little bit. If it's an audio format, after the news block, you are going to hear part 2 of Paul Pratt, aka Polio Del Mar's interview with Mickie James. Really good. At the end of the show, we're going to dive in the mailbag for everybody. We're going to talk about AEW's The Varsity Blondes. I'm excited. Always love talking about Pillman Jr. and Griff, for that matter. And we got all that. But before we get to the rest of the show, I do want to take a moment here up top to send our condolences to the fans, friends, family of Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Passed away sadly yesterday at the age of 71. Began his pro wrestling career in 1976. He had stints with WWE, WCW, SMW, Mid-South, the NWA, New Japan, many other promotions. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2005, the George Tragos Luthez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2017, the NWA Hall of Fame in 2009, and the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2009. A big loss. I see like many people our age, EJ, like we only got to see Paul Orndorff really kind of towards the tail end of his career. It was great today getting to go back, watching these classic segments with Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan, and really reminding yourself how big of a star Paul Orndorff really was.
Huge. Probably had one of my favorite pile drivers. I loved it. He had such a cool, slick move. He looked great. I mean, he used to come out with the robes back when people had the robes. Nobody had a flare robe, but I love the Mr. Wonderful robe, man. I wanted one. So R.I.P.
Nah, rest in peace, Paul Orndorff. And with that, let's dive into somebody wrote it out here. Christian Arnold, news you can use, news that'll leave a bruise. It is time to talk the news of the day. We're going to start with some Money in the Bank updates. So WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Natalya has been added to the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We'll start there. Sonya Deville took to Twitter yesterday, announced that Natalya is going to be one of the competitors at the pay-per-view. She joins Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Asuka, Naomi, and a yet-to-be-determined competitor from SmackDown. There is still one spot left here. Before we get to the next part of this story, Natalya just gets put in. Like, did she just get pinned on SmackDown? I'm sorry. I was looking for, like, I guess Shotzi was maybe more qualified. Didn't she just beat Natalya on SmackDown?
Yeah, and Natalya lost against Rhea Ripley last night.
Mm-hmm.
That, and it was just announced as a tweet. That seems really half-assed. I don't know. I feel like you could have had a match, her versus Tamina, her versus anybody. I don't know. That felt weird. I get it, but it just felt like, oh, yeah, Natalya.
Yeah.
I don't know. Never mind.
Samantha here saying, I feel bad for Natty. How come she didn't get an in-ring announcement, just social media? Probably because they're just filling slots, right? Like the problem here when Bayley went down, we talked about this yesterday, was like there were a lot of people upset that it exposed how little depth there was to the SmackDown women's division because of how much shuffling they had to do in the wake of Bayley going down. Just kind of picking people to fill spots, I feel like, with this Natalya decision.
But they could even dip down to NXT. Like, if you were going to do a social media announcement, do one that's going to be like a bang. Say, okay, Candice LeRae will be in it. That would make people be like, oh, snap. Tune into NXT to find out who else from NXT is going to be added to the Money in the Bank match. There's going to be a battle royal on NXT tomorrow night with all of our amazing women. Great. What? Io Shirai's in it? You know what I'm saying? They can do the steps. It's the matter of, and it's most businesses, good enough is good enough.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, Polio here agreeing with us. Shotzi would have been a great addition to give her some shine, right? And again, you could have double dipped in NXT, right? I don't think it's out of the question we're going to see Shotzi and Tegan Nox on NXT tonight, you know?
And you know, Shotzi's going to do some crazy off a ladder. Like, if this is our intro to her, if you've never watched NXT, and you see her on SmackDown, and you see her with green hair jumping off and crashing through stuff, you're going to say, oh, so you just made her.
Yeah. We do have this mystery slot open on SmackDown, and that brings us to this report from Fightful here, which I think was maybe the biggest news of the last 24 hours, which is that Sonya Deville may be making her in-ring debut at Money in the Bank. There's been a significant push to have Deville involved in the ladder match, and at one point she was penciled in. WWE sources expect Deville to return to the ring soon. She's been training for that return for a few months now. People within WWE have had glowing reviews of Deville, how she's handled this past year, which again included a stalking incident, right? Where that crazy person showed up literally at her back door and she was able to escape. They've also praised the way she's worked herself into her new role. WWE wanted Deville back in the ring by WrestleMania 37 season earlier this year, but officials kept delaying the return to action for some reason. So it looks like Sonya may be shuffling out of this management role, and we can see her back in the ring, which is always better. Like, I always enjoyed Sonya as a performer.
Same. I was confused about her being a general manager and beefing with Adam Pearce. But if on Sunday she shows up and goes, oh, we need somebody, and rips her sleeves off and then puts on some gloves, sign me up, baby.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how they're going to get there. I wonder if this is like, and I trust Sean and fight. I don't doubt. I mean, there's a push for her to be in this spot, but for my money, like, I just see Becky Lynch coming out Friday, first show, front of fans, announcing that she wants to be inside Money in the Bank, and she's going to take this thing. And this mystery slot feels like an opening for Becky Lynch to me. Yeah. I don't know how they get there with Sonya Deville, but it feels like this feels like the time to kind of work Becky back into the company.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. That's what my mind was. And when I first saw that there was an extra slot open, I was like, oh, Becky, live crowd, that, oh, is going to hit and people are going to lose it.
Yes.
That's the moment that I think they want with the live crowd and people losing it for Becky. Boom.
Yeah. Well, we have a comment here from Polio, by the way, saying it was potentially better for Sonya to not be perceived as a powerful in-ring competitor while prosecuting a stalker. Is that like, I mean, I remember reading that there was like a reason she was like not performing, or like, I don't know, like she was going to cut her hair and then like didn't, because they were like, no, we have to present you in court or something like that. So maybe some truth to what Polio is saying here.
Okay, then yeah, that piece is together, because I remember there was a hair versus hair match with her and Mandy.
Right.
And then it was like, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
It's like, okay. So, okay. All right. Well, then, good to know.
Yeah, and Antonio here saying Sonya was an underrated. She was underrated as a wrestler. Agreed, right? And like, I'm not against her coming back. I'm all for her coming back. I just don't know how you get her coming back to wrestling, filling this spot for Money in the Bank. I don't know exactly. Like, I guess it's all been kind of slapdash anyway, getting to this women's Money in the Bank. They maybe just do it to do it. But it just seems like such a ripe opening there to bring Becky back. And again, I don't really know where her head's at or what she wants to be doing right now. But if they've been waiting to pull the trigger, this feels like the time to pull the trigger on a Becky Lynch.
I think so too. And I feel like what you were saying about Sonya, I think she's underrated, but she came in at a weird time when they had Ronda Rousey
Right.
and Shayna Baszler. Out of the three, this like Pokemon evolution of MMA WWE ladies. So she just fit in a different ranking. And, you have Shayna and Ronda, they had to like have watered down Sonya. So I hope she comes back and gets to be a complete badass.
Yeah. Well, lastly here, going into Money in the Bank, WWE has moved the Raw Tag Title match to the pay-per-view. AJ and Omos will defend the titles against the Viking Raiders at Sunday's pay-per-view. It was originally going to happen next Monday at the live Raw from Dallas. Raw, of course, saw Ivar defeat Styles in singles action. That's not a sentence I ever thought I'd read. Omos, I think is the correct pronunciation. Omos made his singles debut with a win over Eric. And at one point, WWE mentioned the title match is going to happen on next week's Raw. But then after the match was over, then they announced it's going to happen at the pay-per-view. So very last-minute decision. I don't really know why, unless maybe they've got some surprise planned for next week, or I don't know, right? But
or maybe they just want to fill some spots. It's like that. This is where we're like, I don't know why they're doing this like this, but okay, I guess maybe they need to fill in some time. I don't know. Yeah. More championships.
I will say that Omos, man, that double chokeslam gimmick that he did at the end there was about as devastating a move as I think you can have as a wrestler. I felt that when he felt it,
My goodness, me too. Like Eric just like wrapped, like holding on with his poor legs around his body. And then he's yelling at the referee to raise his hand. And I was like, raise it where?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
He's like, raise my head. He's like touching his elbow, like trying. I was like, good God. That dude is impressive.
So we have a real mixed bag of news here today. So PW Insider reporting that WWE's dropped the Retribution names for Mia Yim and Shane Thorne. Yim was, of course, Reckoning in Retribution. Thorne was Slapjack. I am so sorry, Six Rings. It does appear that Slapjack, much like Tucker, has gone away. You're going to have to find a new entity to support in WWE.
No more Tuck Slap.
Yeah, no more Tuck Slap. Tuck and Slap. Moving forward, they're going to use their previous ring names. No word on when we're going to see it back on TV. It should be noted that as of this writing, both Slapjack and Reckoning still listed as Raw superstars over on the official WWE roster on WWE.com under the Retribution names. But I don't know. Mia Yim can do. I really just hope her and Keith Lee go back to NXT at this point. I liked them in NXT. They seemed happy. That would be the best spot for me, I would think. And then with Shane Thorne, I don't know. Back to NXT. I guess back to NXT. I don't know.
Everyone back in the pool, back in the NXT.
That's how it feels, though, right? And I feel bad for Shane Thorne because Slapjack was honestly my favorite of the Retribution characters.
Slapjack Slap.
Slapjack Slap. He was the Casey Jones of WWE, and now I feel like because T-Bar and Mace were they MIA? They were not on the show this week, right?
No, they said that they got beat by Lucha Underground last week, but I don't recall seeing that match.
Yeah, I think that if this report is true and they're moving away from the Retribution names, I would think that's maybe not a great sign for T-Bar and Mace's future, but both of those guys are really good. So back in the pool, back to NXT,
Back in the pool. We're going to try again. It reminds me of when, what was it, with Spirit Squad and DX was like back to OVW, buddy, and like sent them off in a package. It feels like that's what's going on. It's like, all right, I need to go back into the incubator and cook a little more.
I would say they're the scarier Spirit Squad, but like, honestly, the Spirit Squad was like pretty nefarious. They were very scary men.
I love it. I would be terrified to get beat up by those guys, man. Are you kidding me? They throw you up in the air by your limbs and let you free fall. That was terrifying.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, that is messed up. Like, what that move was very messed up. So
yeah, that was yeah, I'm good.
Well, we have here from Samantha. Maybe, or do you think the empty spot in Money in the Bank could be Mia? It could be. I don't know why, but
it would just feel like. Like no disrespect to Mia. I think she's a great wrestler. I just think with that last slot, you need it to be a big something. Even if it's Rhea versus Charlotte, whoever loses enters the match and takes that slot, whatever. But I don't know if it's either going to be Becky. My super far guess is Ronda Rousey, but it's going to have to be like some major firework explosion of a name.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about Spirit Squad and Retribution. Let's talk about another faction that has gone away here. PW Insider saying the planned WWE Untold documentary on the Nexus has been shelved. There is no additional work being done on the project. There are other documentaries and content projects plans that have also been paused while work is now being resumed on other projects, and we'll get to some of those other projects here in just a second. But I'm a little bummed about this. Like, I was kind of excited to see, like, a retrospective piece on the Nexus. I guess you can't really do it with Ryback because he's always talking negatively about the company. But, I thought it was
maybe that's a chance for WWE to do something with Ryback, to be like, okay, here, we're gonna not like that, but they can edit it down and take the chunks of what they need from an interview with him. But if they had like a for real candid interview with everybody that was a part of Nexus, I mean, I'm sure they're gonna say a lot of wild stuff because my guy, what was his name? Michael Tarver.
Yeah.
He did not leave with glowing reviews at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there were some issues with it, but I mean, just everybody, I'll be honest, from like a news side of things, anytime we ran anything about how there was a Nexus reunion or Nexus project, there was always interest in it, and that's why I thought this thing was going to be like at least intriguing because there's a lot of people that are really interested in Nexus stuff,
A lot of people. I just want to know. If they did it, I want to make sure that they're going to be like just straight up honest about it. Like, what was their plan? Why did they have Cena just nuke them by himself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Alonzo.
Alonzo Smith agreeing with you. John Cena destroyed buried Nexus. Right?
Under a bunch of chairs by himself. 15 miles in the snow. I was like, come on, man. Like, they came in, they were cool. They ripped everything apart. They fired Daniel Bryan, brought him back. It was a lot. And then are we going to talk about the core?
No, the core. How can you 2 R's?
I was like, core.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird time.
They were trying to make it like the Wolfpack of the NWO, right? Like,
and it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how that one ended.
Well, as noted, the Broken Skull Sessions episode featuring WWE Hall of Famers Kevin Nash and Steve Austin did not air over the weekend, but it does look like, and I said this yesterday on the show, I had heard it was going to air after Money in the Bank. So finally, after Money in the Bank this Sunday, you're going to be able to watch Steve Austin and Kevin Nash, and I'm sure it'll be great. Steve will be drinking beer. Nash will be drinking 3 bottles of red wine, and I'm sure it'll be great.
I want to know why is there so much shuffling and things moving?
Well, that's a great question. So there is no solid word on the premiere date of the Lex Luger Icons documentary. That was nixed the weekend before, but it's still scheduled to air. And so as noted, WWE wanted a stronger lead-in like they're doing with Money in the Bank. There's been a lot of programming removed from the network on Peacock in the international version of late, and this is because of changes in strategy and the rollout for original content on the network as the service adjusts to its new place in the WWE hierarchy under the TV department. It was noted that with changes made internally to departments that were folded into each other, a part of the recent corporate restructuring, there was a previously set schedule that was set to roll out, and with so many people put in new positions and those people needing to learn the ropes, there have been some growing pains. A source noted internally, things are much better off than it would appear from the outside based off shows recently being pulled, and that they believed the reshuffling of existing plans will end up being a long-term positive for the network, but not all the ducks were in the same row as of late. So they released a bunch of people, and they put people that don't really know what's going on in those positions, and now we are playing catch-up. And that answers your question, EJ.
Oh, thank you, Nick. Good to know. I'm just bummed when you see an NWO rollout. Everyone's taking NWO pictures, doing this promotion and hype for the thing, and it's like, just wait a little bit longer. It's like, well, you're not going to do, who else is going to take a picture in an NWO shirt? Now, what is the promotion for? You just going to say it's coming on after Money in the Bank? Good job.
I actually thought NWO Week was probably one of the stronger campaigns, but I thought they were going to put the cherry on top there with Nash and Steve at the end of the week. That was all. It was and Lex Luger on July 4th. Like, I was going to watch it. Like, I had seen all the buzz. It was 4th of July. Like, I had the next day off. I was like pretty excited about it. It felt right. you know.
Yeah. And that was this year was one of those fourths where everybody I talked to, they were like, I had a really chill fourth. I just kind of took it easy. I was like, that would have been a perfect day to watch it. Chill in.
I know. I wish that they'd have done it on July 4th. I don't know what happened there. So anyway, new people coming in. Eventually we'll get it right. That's right.
It's way better on the inside than it looks from the outside. Trust us. Trust us.
Indie wrestler Kelsey Heather became the first talent to appear on both WWE and AEW shows in the same night last night. She was on Raw and USA, appearing as one of Lashley's ladies for the segments with MVP, while AEW Dark Elevation had her making her AEW in-ring debut against Layla Hirsch. She's trained at the WWN Pro Wrestling Training Center, Flatbacks Wrestling School with Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears. She currently works as a cheerleader for the NBA's Orlando Magic and as a coach for the University of Tampa cheerleaders, also a former NHL and NFL cheerleader. I did not know the NHL had cheerleaders.
Me neither. Do they skate?
I guess I'm going to probably, right?
I'm going to go to a hockey game. I don't think I've ever truly watched a hockey game. Sorry, folks.
We used to have in Texas, we had like a local one, and you would go and the games were never very good, but everybody always fought. And that was like the spectacle of it. You know?
Yeah, I've been to minor leagues. We had the Cottonmouths, and they had one time after their game, they had micro wrestling. They set up a ring and set up on the ice, like set up a little thing on the ice and a ring, and they had micro wrestling, and some of them would end up on the ice and be slipping and sliding.
Wow. That's some carny stuff right there.
Yeah, Columbus, Georgia.
So good for her. She got to pull a Rick Rude. That's always, she's very buzzy right now. I can tell you that. Mm-hmm. A lot of attention on her on the website. Do you want to talk about Lashley's end of the show trashing of MVP's lounge and yelling at MVP? What did you think of Unhinged Lashley last night?
Absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Absolutely necessary. I think his match with Xavier was awesome. Mm-hmm. He didn't look bad. He just was dominating the whole time. I'm wearing my New Day shirt, and I got my New Day lunchbox right above me, right?
I see it. Yeah.
But no, I think that was great. I got worried when he threw the couch. He picked up that first couch, and I was like, "Oh, buddy, if you need a mover, call Lashley."
Dude,
absolutely necessary.
That couch had to be heavy, right?
You saw he didn't bother with the second couch. He was like, I'll leave that one alone. That first couch, I'm gonna throw it.
Like, I'm used to them. I feel like they usually gimmick the couches to make them lighter, and they did him no favors there. It was obvious when he was picking that thing up that was a heavy ass couch, and he had to just haul the thing up and throw it, which is very, very impressive.
I'm hoping. Here we go again. I'm hoping that the Hurt Business will be back to the Hurt Business and not the party business. Just going back to the original roots of dressing great and beating people down. Maybe bring back Shelton Benjamin. I don't know. Last time I saw him, he was chasing for the 24/7 title. Bring Shelton back. Something. I don't know. Make them hurt.
Well, I think, and I'm not positive where this is going. I do feel like Lashley's going to retain at Money in the Bank, right?
Absolutely.
Like, Woods got to pin him. Kofi has looked largely very strong, I feel, in the build up to this. I think Lashley's once again going to retain. And, where do you go with an unhinged Lashley from here? Right. I want Lesnar is what I want now, especially after
Brock Lesnar. Give it to me.
Right? That's what I want to see now.
Yeah. I saw a picture of Brock Lesnar like working with butchers yesterday with a ponytail. He has long hair. And I said, oh man. Just please, SummerSlam. Please, Lashley Lesnar. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Have Lesnar show up at the end of Money in the Bank. Anything. I don't know. The Monday after, please.
Yeah, I would do it Monday after, right? The first live Raw in front of fans in Dallas. You know, I that's where I would bring, and I would even tease it. I would at the end of Money in the Bank or in social media that afternoon, like Lesnar has been seen in the area or something of Monday Night Raw, and put some buzz on it.
Lesnar's been seen in the area as like a monster sighting. There is a Lesnar in the area. Please be careful. Or just have them celebrating and then, man, because his music, when his music hits, that opening guitar lick is just, you feel it. It's always like oh man. That's to me. Lesnar is one of my personal favorites. So yeah, I'd love to see him back, and I want to see him versus Lashley. Not to overstep Kofi, because Kofi Lesnar should be done again. I could see why he would want to do that again and run that back. But for my spirit, I need Lashley versus Lesnar.
And there's still time to do Kofi Brock again, right? But in this moment, I want to see Brock Lashley.
Absolutely.
Like, especially with that unhinged.
Kofi's 0-2 against Lesnar anyway, so it's fine. We'll be fine.
Peter Conklin here saying, if WWE wants to shock me, Woods turns on Kofi at Money in the Bank and joins the Hurt Business. Do you like that?
No.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Doesn't feel right to me. You know?
That doesn't feel. He has no reason.
Mm-hmm.
There was no reason. They both left on a win, unless Xavier's like, I realize that I can win on my own and I don't need you, but they just seem too tight.
Yeah,
There's no reason.
Doesn't feel like the right time. Definitely doesn't feel like the right time. We have Alonzo Smith here saying the Hurt Business should reform, adding Keith Lee and Ricochet turned heel. I just want to see Keith Lee. Ricochet and Morrison, by the way, had a banger on Raw. Match of the night by far. Mick Foley went online and he wrote heck of a match, some mind-boggling stuff those guys are capable of. Ricochet picked up the win after putting Morrison through that ladder. That was the last great match of the Thunderdome era.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not to poo-poo anybody, because I actually enjoyed Natalya and Rhea. But this match had no right being this dope.
Yes.
Like, to where every time they did a move, there were just moves I've never seen before, moments and things and little, like, I wish I could have sat in the room with them while they were piecing it together.
I love how John Morrison has embraced the capybara in his arsenal. Like, he just moves like he just moves differently. You know? Yeah,
right? Everything he does, even just a kick, it's not like every other wrestler's kick. That man just moves different.
Mm-hmm.
He's different. I love him. That was a great match.
Yeah.
That truly, like, there were moments I just kept jumping out of my seat, being like, "Oh no, don't do that!" Oh, I was like, "Be careful, you should." I'm terrified for what they're gonna do on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, do they have another match on Sunday? Or no, they're gonna be in Money in the Bank. Sorry. I was like,
and this is a stacked Money in the Bank card too. This is one of the most for the men's division. This is gonna be a banger. I feel it.
Yeah, I agree. The Matmen podcast reporting that the Raw season premiere is now scheduled for the first week of October. The current plan calls for the Raw season premiere to air live on USA October 4th. This is going to be the 30th season premiere for WWE's flagship program. On a related note, the draft is being delayed by 1 month. It's either going to be held Friday, October 1st or Monday, October 4th, or October 4th and Friday, October 8th. Regardless, that means that the October 4th Raw is going to be the season 30 premiere and also night 1 or 2 of the draft.
All right. Cool. I forgot there was a draft. I was like, oh, yeah, the draft. Then, a month later, they'd be like, we could switch, but only one person every other week. So hopefully if they do the draft, they'll stick with it.
Yeah. I if you're going to do it like a season premiere kind of thing, like we're establishing the roster for the new, I don't understand seasons. Like the show never stops. Like what is a season? I don't know. Yeah,
me neither. Because if you pull it up on Hulu, they're like, season this of Raw, it starts here. And I'm like, what is a season? Like, what constitutes as a season? You would think it would be the Monday after WrestleMania would be the season premiere of Raw, but they've never really had a rollout. or said anything. It's a new season.
What is going on here in the comment section? What's this? Hype party? Is that what it says? Hype party?
Party hype?
We have like 3 Martin. That's not Marty the Moth, is it? If Marty the Moth is watching and sharing this, I'd like for him to explain to me what is this, because several people are putting in the comment section right now from our Twitch channel, which is great. Hello, Twitch people, but I just don't know what it is. I'm confused by what's going on.
Being hacked.
Wait, here we go. Acer raid hype. Let's go. Okay, is that what it is? Like we're getting raided on Twitch and everybody's putting the hype sign up. Oh, here we go. Another one. I don't know what's going on. King Steggy hype party. Okay. We have it. Oh, it's actually Marty. Oh, hey, Marty the Moth. Thank you for tuning in. It is LOL. We just raided. Well, Marty, very talented man. I've always enjoyed you. You're very funny in the ring. And so, yeah, Sean saying this is Marty the Moth at Miss Laylee. Marty the Moth in the house. Okay. Cool. Hey, Marty, I guess, we are the light that the moth was attracted to here, obviously.
Obvi. So, yeah, you're welcome.
Well, Marty, I don't know. And again, I don't know how to, I know we have Twitch. I know obviously there's a comment section here. So Marty's saying, yeah, I rated you guys after my workout, LOL. I don't know what that means. Like, does he hit a button or you put out a message? Okay, here we have Polio saying, yes, they joined in mass, so it's a Twitch thing. Okay, cool. All right. Well, welcome. Hi.
That's a hell of a cooldown, Marty. Yeah, I just worked out. Let's raid.
Marty, you are always welcome to raid the show. I appreciate it. So, okay.
I think it's ironic that a moth has raid. Let's talk about it.
That's a good observation. That's a very good observation. Like if you're a moth, you get raided, then you die, right? So, oh man. Okay, here. Wait. Oh, Marty's here. You're filling me. Sorry, the show's off the rails now. So we have Marty saying, "I finished my stream and sent my community watching me to your channel. It's called a Twitch raid. I'm learning so much."
Yeah, that's right now. He's like, you know what a Twitch raid is?
I don't know what's going on. Also, Marty God said, "Good thing I've evolved, so I guess he's immune to raid." To the raid, okay. Right? That'd be a good bit. I could see that in like GCW, right? Grabbing a can of, not real raid, because you get poison, you die. Like you die. I think humans can die from raid, right?
You get a cough.
Okay. Yeah, because like Liz hates well, Marty here says, I eat raid for breakfast. Prove it. And JK, don't do that. So
it was like, he told me to do it.
So Liz, my girlfriend, doesn't like bugs. Common thing, I'm sure, with many girlfriends, right? She came and she had a house centipede she found in her bathroom yesterday. And she came out and she said, I had to kill this house centipede. And I go, did you grab it with a paper towel? She said, no, I sprayed it with Raid. And I was like, that seems way slower death, more painful death to spray it down with Raid than to just whack it with a tissue, right?
Yeah, because you watch them kind of like scamper off and like, and then like a few legs stop working, but they're like dragging themselves out of there and stuff. Yeah, just crush them or just throw them out the window or something.
Okay, all right. Well, last news here before we get to Nikki
No,
J.
we need to learn how to kill bugs, Nick.
I mean, like Marty the Moth, Marty the Moth came in here and it just became all bug talk all the time. It's a bug's life up in here. So anyway, you know what? We have a question, whatever, off the rails. This is a really long thing that somebody just wrote in from Twitch. We're going to address the Raiders. Hey guys, do you know what's going on with the Fiend and why he hasn't been released yet? They aren't doing anything with him, in my opinion. Should have been released instead of Braun. What's your guys' opinion? Agree or disagree? I have no idea what's going on with the Fiend. I've heard things. Heard he's maybe dealing with personal issues, right? But not.
I heard that WWE's that was their plan. They're keeping him off for a while for something. What? I don't know. I disagree with he should be let go. 100%. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
His family, he comes from wrestling bloodline. It's a great character that people love and sells merchandise. Maybe they're waiting for people to come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I heard he was just dealing with some personal stuff. So
Yeah.
I hope he gets back in time. So, all right, last news item here. Then we'll get to Mickie James and Paul. Then we'll dive into the mailbag. We'll keep talking. We'll address the Raiders. So Alexa Bliss, she took to Twitter yesterday to respond to a fan who tried to body shame her. The fan was commenting on the evolution ? Of her butt in WWE. I didn't want to give this guy the time of day to really recap what it is that he wrote, but Alexa Bliss wrote, number 1, how effing dare you try to body shame me? 2, all pics except the last one are very old. 3, I haven't been able to control my weight loss lately since being sick a few months ago. Number 4, all you have to say about my career since 2013 is pics of my butt. I pity you. Peace sign. Bless. Why do people have to be creeps and weirdos? You know?
Because the freaking internet. Sorry, I get upset with things like this, Nick, so far.
Okay. It's all right. It's upsetting, right? Like, people shouldn't act like this.
People think they get on the internet and they have free reign to say and do whatever they want. I feel bad for Alexa Bliss. All the wrestlers. Naomi just got off of Twitter because of people harassing her and bothering her.
Yeah.
Alexa had a stalker, I feel like just a month or 2 ago, we were reporting about a guy who was just going too far on Twitter about how he loves her and stuff like that. Stop it. Stop doing that. Stop making things about their butts. Leave her alone. They wrestle. If you want to post about people's butts, there's a bunch of women that are actively showing their butts and have a career about their butts. Go talk about them.
Right.
He wants you to. Mm-hmm. Respect them as wrestlers.
Yeah, Marty here saying Alexa Bliss handles her crazies well and respectfully. Yeah, you know.
But it's not that she has to. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that she has to go, oh, I need to understand and be kind and, that's good. But goodness.
Look at Marty here saying he had death threats during Lucha Underground, saying if he kept messing with Melissa Santos, a fan said he was going to find him and kill him. And it was taped, bro. Hashtag facepalm. Marty, that's terrible.
And what do you do with it? And I'm like, Marty, what did you do? What can you do to that? You just file a report and you have to be like, peace sign emoji. The world's already crazy and now you have to worry about some weirdo harassing you virtually who might just show up anywhere because we're just saying that about Sonya. There was a dude in her backyard. Mm-hmm. Stop it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll bring us to the mailbag here. Thank you, EJ, for joining me top show to talk all the news today. Thank you to Paul Polio for talking to Mickie James. Part 2 is going to air here in 19 minutes over on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel. It's going to premiere there. Then you can watch it in replay form. Today in the mailbag at Wink Daily, WINC Daily, that's the account to follow. We're going to be talking about AEW's The Varsity Blondes. So AEW has announced the signing of the Varsity Blondes, Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison. No announcement about Julia Hart. Suspicious. Fightful saying Brian Pillman Jr.'s MLW contract technically ran through the weekend's Battle Riot 3 tapings, but there had not been much contact between the two sides. It was noted that Pillman is going to be finished up with MLW very soon. AEW wanted to do their best to match Pillman and Garrison's full-time deals as far as dates go. They were previously working under tiered contracts, but it was considered a foregone conclusion that they would both end up with full-time contracts. So congratulations to the Varsity Blondes. Big fans of both. Any thoughts on them being signed?
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good look for them. More exposure, more people watching. And it's going to be dope tag matches as we have in the poll here today.
Yeah.
And opportunities, different matchups, different matchups.
Yeah, and I liked that Brian Pillman Jr. tweeted out saying it would be great if there was another graphic where Julia Hart was also signed. Yeah, Marty here agreeing with us. By the way, Marty now becoming just like a regular part of the show. Julia's going to get it as well, I'm sure. Right? So, yeah, I'm very excited for both of these. I'm very excited for both of these talents. I'm a big fan of Brian Pillman Jr. I don't really know Griff that well, but I'm going to get to see them in this weekend at Warrior Wrestling, right? I'll be doing commentary for Warrior. They're going to be taking doing some tag action there. So I wanted to ask everybody, who do you guys most want to see the Varsity Blondes feud with in AEW now that they're signed? The Young Bucks, FTR, the Acclaimed, or somebody else? Well, almost 200 votes here. I'm a little surprised. 48.3% said the Acclaimed, 36.4 FTR, only 13.1 the Young Bucks, and 2.3 somebody else a write-in. Who did you vote for?
I voted for FTR. I love their matchups. I love how they piece together a tag match that just plays to everybody's strengths and just tells a beautiful story. I'm a huge fan, and I think they're a good base, I think, for the Varsity Blondes.
Yeah, I think the Acclaimed would be awesome. Like, I think it'd be great to see them. I mean, it's all young talent. Like, I'm sure they'd go out there and be super hungry. Could be really competitive. I'd go with the Acclaimed. I get the allure there for sure.
And you said you were shocked with the results. Did you think more people would vote for the Young Bucks?
Yeah, I thought the Young Bucks, just being the Young Bucks, would get more than 13% of the poll, right?
I think I don't know. Okay. Nothing against the Young Bucks. It's just, I think let me think about how I want to say it. They're so consistently good in a certain realm that you're not clamoring to see it yet. I guess if there was like a built up sort of like match with something behind it, you want to see that more. I think with the Acclaimed and FTR, you can just put them together and make it go, and that's gonna keep you locked in.
Okay. We had a write-in here from at B7326 for the Lucha Brothers. That would also be a great bout for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Marty here saying, Chaos Project needs more love. I love me some Luther and Serpentico. It's been pushed. Like, I'm not going to sit here and, like, say negative things. It's just, like, they don't grab me. Like, I've had no reason to become like, emotionally invested in them. With, like, the Acclaimed, it's like I know these guys' story. Like, they're getting time. They're getting to go out and, do these do rap and work actual matches. So that's why whatever. Like who you like, Marty. I'm not going to say it's bad. Antonio Garcia saying best friends, Buster Guts, which is a great name. I want the butcher to come back to how he was. I can't get into the Young Bucks, at least right now. So yeah.
Right. People might not be feeling the Young Bucks right now.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, they're heels, right? They're not supposed to be liked.
Yeah.
Supposed to be bad. All right, everybody. That's going to bring us to the end of the show. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in, and especially to Marty for bringing this Twitch raid to the show, which now I know what that is. So thank you for informing me about that. It's wonderful. Come back. You don't have to just raid. You can just tune in and enjoy the show. That's also fine. I'll be back tomorrow. I got a mystery interview. I'm doing one this afternoon. I don't want to give it away because it's going to be a lot of fun. But come back tomorrow. Big interview. Of course, Wrestling Inc. Daily, brought to you by WrestlingInc.com. We're on all your favorite social media platforms. Of course, the Wrestling Inc. podcast goes live at nights after all the big shows, and you can subscribe to that on all major podcast platforms as well. EJ, what do you want to plug, promote, put over here to wrap up the show today?
Keep on being good people. Enjoy your summer. Be safe. On Twitter, I'm at EJ_Cam19. Give me a follow if you want. I don't say much, but I use it. And if you're in Chicago, hit us up. We're around.
Yeah, we are in fact around, right? Here, I'll show you. I'll show you my one of my most liked. I think my most liked tweet of yesterday. If I can bring it up here, let me get it up. Where's my tweet? I tweeted this photo out yesterday. Screen share. This is a photo of me next to my favorite street art in the neighborhood. It says Super Glue and Condoms, 1993. I don't know why I like it so much. It just makes me laugh. And I think it'd be a really good name for an album, maybe like a funk album, like Super Glue and Condoms, 1993.
Super Glue and Condoms. That is such a specific image I have in my head. I don't even talk about it.
It's not just Super Glue and Condoms. It's Super Glue and Condoms 1993, right? Which is the best part because I'm like, why 1993? Why Super Glue and Condoms? Why? Why any
what happened in 1993?
Yeah, well, something with Super Glue and Condoms. So, anyway, thank you all. I'm at Nick_Rebel. Go over, follow my Twitter. You can see more stuff just like what I threw up on the screen. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And remember, if you winked, you didn't miss it.